What's up everybody, it's Johnbonne here, hoping to do some regular unscripted content because I will be slowing down the production of reviews to do, well, these really. Something to keep me sane while I'm working on other videos on weekends. So I kind of want to talk to you guys about Warhammer, why I love the universe rather than the tabletop game, and sort of how I was put off the tabletop game, and what this means to me as a video gamer. I make a point in my Warhammer Dawn of War 2 reviews that I haven't played the tabletop game all that much, and that I sort of try to compensate for that with the knowledge of the story and the universe. If you want the short answer, it's because rather, if you want the short answer to why I prefer the lore to the actual tabletop game itself, it's because the tabletop game takes a lot of time to learn. I mean, you require lessons at Games Workshop, the guys who make these the games, at least the tabletop games, anyway. You require lessons. You have to go there for sessions to learn how to play. Kind of like with sort of a tabletop role-playing game, you have to sort of be with friends, or you have to be with a group of people to sort of play the game, much less understand it. And the same applies to with this. And like the rule books are expensive as well. Like we're talking about £50 for a rule book here, and the army books, these things, they cost about £15 a pop. That's pretty expensive. And you know, if you sort of play multiple armies, and the armies do cost a fair bit, then you know it is costly, and you might not even know that you like the hobby. I never played the tabletop game, and I must have pulled hundreds of pounds into the models, into the tools to build and paint them. It was basically just a big money pit. In fact, if you haven't seen that film with Tom Hanks, I do recommend you check it out. It's very funny. But yeah, so I sort of really got into the lore because I didn't really sort of understand the games. I did buy multiple armies, and I did buy the army books, and the army books are a great way to sort of preview the armies, and I thoroughly enjoy reading them. And I hope to give you a preview of the army books. In fact, I'm going to do that now because I've tried to do multiple takes of this video, and I've utterly failed. Because I ended up just bitching about Games Workshop, their enthusiasm and the fan base, and I really don't want to go down that path. I just feel as though the people there are very enthusiastic, although that can be a bit creepy. It can be very unwelcoming and very unnerving for someone who's new to the hobby. I never really, in fact, they were probably the reason why the fans and at least a lot of the fans and a lot of the employees, because a lot of Games Workshops all around the country. Like I've been to the Games Workshop in London, Sheffield, the Midlands, and Wakefield. I think there was one in Huddersfield for a short while as well. And like they all really want to help you, but they also want to press gang you into the hobby. They also want to. You know, they really want to sort of inquisit you. You know, I'll maybe talk about that story another time, like my good and bad experiences with Games Workshop. There will be many Warhammer videos in the future. But that's when I show you my army books, because these are the one thing that I can get behind. And I hope to show you why I thoroughly enjoy the lore of Warhammer. And if you perhaps buy one of these, if my video encourages you to buy one of these books, I hope you see inside. I hope you have a good, I hope you really get immersed in the books. I know I have. And I hope you can sort of mull over them, and maybe you might be inspired to try other Warhammer games. I think these are a great way of getting into the Warhammer video games. They can really sort of hype you up, as they did for me. In fact, actually, when I was sort of like reading one of the books, it made me want to try one of the MOBAs, which sadly closed in closed beta, called Wrath of Heroes. I had great memories of it. In fact, it got me back into Warhammer, reading the books and stuff like that, and it got me into creating character concepts and whatnot. So I'm going to show you my army books now. I've got two kinds of army book here. I've got Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40,000, which is science fiction, science fantasy. And I'm going to show you the insides of one or maybe two of these books if we've got time, and give you an idea of what they consist of. So I've got here my Beastmen book. This one I'll probably show you the contents of. Lots of lore. These guys are are afflicted by the chaos, the influence of chaos in the wall. Not necessarily approached by chaos and turned into the Beastmen, but rather sort of just like in the wrong place at the wrong time, victims of circumstances, so to speak. And you got the Demons of Chaos. This was one of the last books I bought. I think when I was in college. I think it was like my final day of college, and I went to a local sort of tabletop gaming store. It wasn't Games Workshop, but I just saw it and I thought, you know, it was £20, and I bought it and I just thought, you know, it's one I want. I mean, I prefer Warriors of Chaos, but alas, Demons of Chaos will do. And yeah, there are quite a few Chaos books. In fact, Beastmen, Skaven, Demons of Chaos and Warriors of Chaos. They really tried to milk the Chaos, I'll tell you that much. I'm surprised they didn't do like a book based on each god, which I will talk about. I will talk about the gods and like morality and alignment in terms of RPG terms, because they're not really sort of black and white villains if you sort of really try to look at it. If you look at it hard enough. And we've got the Skaven army book here. These are the rat men who were also afflicted by the touch of chaos, although in a much different way. They're also made insane and made geniuses essentially by warpstone. And of course, orcs and goblins, because which fantasy universe would be complete without orcs and goblins? Besides Game of Thrones, whatever. I really wanted to show you, as I was sort of planning this video, I was going to show you the Orcs and Goblins book. I might show you the inside of this one, because there's a lot of stuff here, but I was actually more impressed by the Beastmen lore. Even though these books are the same edition, at least I think they are. That's me trying to sound smart, because I know what the word edition means, kind of. You know, I was hoping to show, I think because they're the same edition. Sure. Yeah, I was hoping like, what am I talking about? Sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Okay, right, we'll move on. And anyway, here are my Warhammer Codexes. These are your army books, but they're called Codexes for whatever reason. Actually, I think they're called Codexes because of the Imperium of Man, like the Codex Astartes and Codex Armageddon. Again, this is me trying to sound smart. So I've got my Codex Armageddon. This is a campaign setting, a sort of one of the most famous battles in Warhammer history. If you're an orc, space orc player, if you have the Imperium of Man, Black Templars, Salamanders, Storm Legion, that kind of thing, this is one of the most important battles. If you're into the sort of roleplay side or the lore side, this is a great book to pick up. And I only got it for £5, and this was when I was about 13 years old. So you can probably get it for even cheaper than that, although it might be a collector's item today. I'll probably have to, in fact, I'll show you very briefly inside that if I've got time at the end of this video. I got the Codex Orcs. These books are from the 90s, so they're not nearly as big. There's not really all that much in there. In fact, a lot of the stuff is condensed. Yeah, they don't really sort of have that much lore. Like I'll give you a brief look. It's like, let me try and find. Alright, so here's your Orc army list. Very brief explanation as to how the book works, why, and what it consists of, and how to actually play the army. You've got your different war gear, little bits of lore there, and then you've got like your little army rules here. This is what counts here if you're sort of at the tabletop. You know, if you're having a game and you know, you need to have a look at the rules really quickly. Just to have a look there. There's not really that much lore in these books, which is a bit unfortunate. They're not that great for lore. You want your Warhammer Fantasy latest edition books. Yeah, there's not really much I can say about this. These aren't really inspiring to look at. Actually, is there a little? I can't really see much. It just tells you about the special rules. Yeah. This is also really cool as well. If you honestly, looking at the pictures might make you seem dumb, but it doesn't. Honestly, it does look. It is worth getting the books just to look at the pictures. Honestly, the pictures here are really inspiring. You can see the models, you can see people painting the models, the different ideas they've got. All different ideas. In fact, I want to skip to one page really quick. Big Tooth River. This is honestly one of the most impressive things I've seen in Warhammer 40k. This is something that someone made completely custom. That they don't sell that, but you can make it. And I think the Orcs really show the ingenuity that a player can have, or a painter or a model builder. And you've got some sort of unique stuff here that people have made for things like Golden Demon, because Games Workshop have competitions with people who can make the best custom stuff every month. It's very impressive. Got some more stuff here. Lore, characters, special units, all that good stuff. And I love the artwork as well. Not just like the models, but the sort of drawings, paintings, and illustration. And here's the nice big section of lore to learn about orc physiology and actually how they're born. They're actually born under rocks, which is kind of cool. And you always get the sort of star chart at the end, at least at this edition of the codexes. Again, it's all like the same with the Tyranids and that. Not really much lore, not really much stuff to read, not much fluff text. They're always in the sort of same style, and like the sort of models and sort of how to paint them, the painting guides and building guides. That's something that latest editions of the codexes that I noticed, at least, well, last time I was reading the Warhammer 40,000 codexes, they don't really sort of teach you how to sort of paint the models. They sort of do that in Red Dwarf nowadays. They just sort of teach you how to make custom models as well. This is really cool, how they sort of give you different skin variants. I think these are Hormagaunts, the ones that they're sort of showing here. Regine Steelers there. It's kind of cool. Gives you your own ideas for different like sort of broods and the terrain. Hero units here. I didn't really sort of I didn't intend on doing this, by the way. I did actually want to read some over to you, but you can see it for yourself. At least I hope you can see it for yourself. Anyway, the light isn't shining enough. Well, the text will be too small, and I am going through it too quickly, but hopefully you can get an idea of what's in the book. So if you do decide on getting your own, and you don't want to be told off for sort of just window shopping or whatever, then you can have a look. This is actually a really interesting story about how a scout returns to sort of tell his commander about the state of the city after the Tyranids is attacked. Sort of the propaganda and the PSAs. I love these 2 pages. These 2 pages right here are definitely worth getting the entire codex for, just to sort of see Imperial Guard propaganda and how they sort of react to the Xeno threat. And of course you've got the sort of sciencey part here, the same with the Orcs Codex, telling you about Tyranid vivisection or dissection. And finally, my pride and joy, the Warhammer 40,000 Space Marines Codex. This is limited edition. My mum actually got me this for £50. I think it was for Christmas or my birthday, and I said I really wanted this. And the rule books, the general rule book for Warhammer is £50, and this is an army book. And I'll show you very briefly inside. Excuse me, this is number 290. I'll show you inside this one before I end this part, and I'll show you some others. So you get loads of lore here. In fact, actually, I'll just skip back a few pages. So yeah, so you sort of look at the lore here. Like, there's no rules in these particular pages. They leave it for another part, and I much prefer this style because they give you loads of lore. They tell you, honestly, they don't sort of show any bad sides. It really does try to convince you to get this army and understand it. Space Marine special rules. Yeah, so you got your war gear here, which sort of is worth more points. The more points you have, it's like you can have up to like 2,000, 3,500, 5,000 points, whatever, and kind of like for different brackets of difficulty and unit size. You've got little diagrams here of the different units. There aren't that many units to show in this book, actually. This is a really good book for lore and learn about the Marines. Special stuff here. Kavar Shrike, one of my favourite characters ever. I've never met the guy, never seen him, but he looks cool. And this doesn't just cover one chapter of Space Marines. This covers this doesn't just cover Ultramarines. It covers all the well, at least most of the Space Marine chapters, anyway. So you've got like Kavar Shrike of the Raven Guard. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, the Imperial Fists, Ultramarines. Ultramarines are my favourite chapter, if you want to know. Veterans, oh my god. Marnix Calgar in all his glory, just sat on his throne with skulls surrounding him. That's basically Warhammer. Bald guys on thrones with skulls surrounding them and things in their eyes and wires coming out of them and everything. Oh, and you get some really cool pictures here as well. Absolutely awesome. Pictures of the Ultramarines just being Kickass. More pictures of Ultramarines being Kickass. More Ultramarines being kicking ass. Oh, but honestly, yeah, these pictures are really good. They save the best for this book, let me tell you. Oh, it's so good. Honestly, I just used to read, so I just used to look at the images. These are my most revised pages because I just love this. Because I just couldn't be bothered. I didn't have the attention span to sort of read the lore, and so I just the lore. So I just looked at the pictures. So yeah, I think it's enough for that one. I'm going to run out of time. Ooh, so I am going to very quickly show you the contents of a Warhammer Fantasy book before my camera shuts off, because it will film for a maximum of 20 minutes and then I have to sort of redo the video. So I'm going to show you Beastmen. And now this is a much better example. I'm hoping I've got time, so I've got to better hurry up. So that's the introduction. So, nice artwork. Origins of the Beastmen. Loads of lore tells you how men turn into beasts and beasts turn into men. Lots of illustrations to show you the origins and how they change, how they act. I mean, honestly, there's about 30 pages of lore here. What the hell is that? My pages are bent. Pissed off at that. Just so much stuff going on. It shows you magic and shit happening. It's just pages and pages of story and battles and famous battles and named and prolific characters. It tells you about the war. Now this is awesome. All this is lore. All that's lore. That's your little bit of rules there. Pictures and everything. It's to inspire you to buy this book. Lore, rules. I don't know where the lore is there. I can't see it properly. Lore, rules, look at that, and the pictures are awesome. I love the illustrations. I think the Beastmen got some of the best stuff. Trying to find something really quick to show you. Giants are all the same. Well, actually, no, they're kind of different depending on the fact. This is going to take me a while to find something cool. I think that's really... Oh, hang on, I've got some more models to show you. So yeah, this is why I loved buying the codexes. I mean, honestly, it's much more fun to just look at this and actually build, paint, spend a shit ton of money on to build and just fail at painting the models, you know, and then play them and just destroy them and lose them or whatever. Yeah. All this cool stuff going on. Awesome. So yeah. Fucking Beastmen. Awesome. I'm going to try and find just something. Oh, and then yeah, yes. This is how it should look. This is how, like, just have lore for the units, and then like keep your rules here at the back. So then, if you want a quick reference or whatever in the middle of a fight, you can have so here, and then you've got little scraps of lore here. You just got little battles and famous events in their history. If actually, the Beastmen have a timeline, because they sometimes have like a really quick timeline to follow. I know the Orcs do, but I don't think the Beastmen do. I think they're actually just like, because they sort of have like a timeline, a little bit of lore, but here they just give you the entire history up to present day in Warhammer. So yeah, right, I'm going to call it there. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you got a lot out of that video. I didn't feel too confident about it, but to be honest, I'm glad I've got it done. And I'm hoping to talk about the chaos in another video, talking about alignment, morality, that kind of thing, looking at if Warhammer were an RPG. And there was a Warhammer RPG called Warhammer Quest. I haven't really seen all that much about it, but yeah, we'll see. Let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see me talk about. It doesn't just have to be about Warhammer. But I'm hoping that you guys have got some understanding as to why I love the lore so much, why I love collecting the books, and why I want to see that applied to a video game. I think in another video, the second part of this, I might talk about what kind of Warhammer game I would like to see, and give multiple suggestions. I don't expect them to be taken seriously, but I hope to have a bit of banter, and I hope you guys have a bit of banter as well. Thanks again for watching, have a pleasant day, and I'll see you later. Ta-ta for now.